Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to the Sports Affiliations betting collaboration. As always, it is Joey D and Iggy G. Joey, how you doing today, man? You doing all right, Deuces?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Better now that your NRFI won the first one of the night. How are you, man?
Good. Yeah, we told people to put 2 units on that one, um, and it's hitting. So, what? But you said it didn't. You said it almost didn't happen. I didn't get to watch the game live. Why don't you break it down how it went down?
Yeah, so we got, I guess the saying is you'd rather be lucky than good. It's a good thing we're both, right? So yeah, Yankees had first and second, no outs, grounded to a double play, got a runner on third, two outs, and I think it was Uh, can't remember who was at bat, but he hit it deep. I thought it was gone, like right by the warning track. Got the third out in cash, but it was close. But a winner's a winner.
That's the way it goes, man. The third round, like you say, you almost had a 3-run inning. Instead, you get out 0-0, and usually after that, a pitcher can get it going. I don't have the count in front of me, man. But one thing I was told is never to apologize for winning. And we won, so we're not going to be apologizing for anything.
No, absolutely not. We'll take it however we can get it.
Yeah, man. And we've also got on that bet, in case you didn't see it, it's posted on my Twitter. A lot of times we'll be putting stuff there. Coming up here shortly, we got Pirates Angels. There was just a boost, $5 max bet. So, with that being said, it's like, okay, that's cool. Let's just make sure that we're going to lay the $5 on it. And as long as I feel like as Otani if he doesn't hit it, we're good. I'm not too worried about the Pirates. So that one got boosted to positive odds. Add a little change into the bankroll, hopefully tonight. But Joey, what else you got going on in the MLB tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have one excuse me, one MLB play left. I think it's already started. I was on the Rangers money line. I'm not sure what the score is, or I think it started about 5 minutes ago. But the reason I'm on the Rangers, number one in offense. I mean, their lineup's just stacked. Also, there's a few key stats that I like to look at, especially betting on MLB teams at home. They're 33 and 18, and as favorites, they're 39 and 25. So I mean, that's amazing numbers right there.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
looking at the Dodgers pretty good NL team. Texas Rangers, pretty decent AL team. It's still locked up in the first. They're giving the Rangers the what do they call it in baseball? I keep wanting to call it the run line, right? 1.5 on the run line. So
0-0.
a little bit quiet over there, Joey. If you can hear me, I don't know the mic.
Yeah, is it still 0-0?
0-0 right now, working
Okay.
their way through it. So
Yeah, nice. And yeah, I like to look at, how they perform at home and as favorites, and both are very good records. 33 and 18 at home, and as favorites 39 and 25, while the Dodgers are only 26 and 24 on the road, and as underdogs they're only 7 and 7, so really not, they're a good team, but really not impressive numbers on the road or as underdogs. And that Rangers lineup, just feel it's a lot better than the Dodgers. That's why I'm riding with them tonight.
yeah, you still got decent odds living by my rule. Right now, I'm seeing it at negative 180 on the live betting. So if you didn't get it in, go ahead and go take that number. We got it down to negative 150 right now. The good thing about live betting, trying to share the screen right there with you guys. If y'all can see the cursor moving, that would be it right there. Dodgers, Rangers, they're still ahead on the run line, but negative 150, good odds if you want to hop on it in that right now. Like we said, Yankees and Royals already 3-4 in the fifth inning, so they got some hits off that starting pitching. Pretty much every game this so far, if you're taking runs, you're feeling pretty good. Every game but Tampa Bay Orioles. Orioles and Tampa Bay, Orioles have the only 0 right now. So the O's with the O right now. Well,
Yeah,
the
Tampa, they came out of the gates hot. They've been struggling lately, especially after the All-Star break. And, even heading into the All-Star break, they've been struggling and not looking like the team they did when they started the season off.
Yeah, I mean that's Baltimore. I feel like that's kind of their story my whole career, that they can put together a half season or make a little bit of a push, but you can't get the whole shebang from them. It always feels like my Rockies destroying the Marlins right now, 6-0. Let's go check in on some soccer. I think they got some going on. I bet on some. I don't know what it's listed as because it's an intra-conference game. Still might be considered.
I would just go to the live. I don't use DraftKings that much, but I think can't you sort by live and play?
I can. Let's see. Live in game. There we go.
Then you should be able to sort by soccer.
Let's see. Yeah, we'll see. I got my computer's moving a little slow here. Some problem. I predominantly use my phone for betting, but we got this stream going here, trying to give you some access as well. If you're on there, Coach Craig saying, yo, what's up, Coach? Wayne Klingman said, party on, guys. And Sieg saying, LFG, let's go, everybody. Thank you for being here. Coach, I know you got your baseball play. If you could put it in there real quick, just let me know again. We'll get that up and for everybody to see that because I know Coach has been on fire on the MLB as well. So right there, I don't think it looked like it went to some kind of parlay on me. I'm not trying to build a parlay right now.
No, not yet.
Let's see.
You had Cruz, right? Minus.
Yeah, I had Cruz. I had Cruz on the money line. I just didn't try. Miami. The reason for that being Miami, just MLS team. I think they're the worst team in the MLS. I don't care if you do get Messi. You're the worst.
No, I agree. The MLS is one of the worst leagues for professional soccer. I definitely.
Yeah,
agree with that.
It's still 0-0 right now, but they just started. So you can still hop on that. Cruz is a little 220. I think it was about 250, 240 when I got in on it. Intra Miami at plus 115. So the odds right there. Then, of course, ever the draw on soccer at plus 250. That could seg us way into it. Are you going to be betting any on Messi before we get into the Ladies World Cup, Women's World Cup?
I'm not yet. I kind of want to see him play and see how he gels with the team before I make any wagers on Messi. Obviously, he's one of the GOATs, but, like you said, they're not a very good team. And I like to see how he fits in, get some practices, games under his belt before I would bet on him in Miami. So not right now. I got to watch him a little bit. What about you?
Yeah, my thing with it is, I like soccer, but I pretty much only bet on the World Cup, CONCACAF, one on Mexico versus Panama. That was really fun. That was pretty cool to get to see watch. Winning in LA, my friends were sending me lineups. They were betting. We were talking live bets and so forth. So that was pretty fun to check out. But I'll see it. I'll see how it goes. I'll bet on the playoffs, seeing how they do. Coach said, "Have a great show, guys. I got to bounce. I appreciate it. I appreciate you helping it." But
I typically stay away from the MLS, but if there's some advantages to be had, I'll try to find them. But it's usually not my cup of tea.
Right. I know you got. Let me see if I can pull up the World Cup right here. Let's go ahead and start talking about that. I know you had a bet. I put together some kind of parlay, but I just, it was just like a boost. So I'm not really. I'm trying to.
So
do other
I
people.
did. My original bet, and I still did bet it, is the USA minus 2.5 in the first half. I liked them -6 full game, even better. They're the number one team in the world. Vietnam's ranked 32nd. And these ladies, they're out for blood. They want to win. Last World Cup in their first round game, they beat Thailand 13-0. Because goals do matter. Winning the group could come down to goal differential. So it's not like if they're up 4-0 in the 50th minute, they're going to let up. They're going to score as many as physically possible because they want, the top seed. And they're returning 9 players from the 2019 World Cup.
I think I kind of lost you right there, but I do see they have a 6.5 point spread at plus 110 right now against Vietnam. So that's at plus money if you like that spread. You know.
Yeah, I was saying they were returning 9 players from the 2019 team, so they have a great group of veterans and new players. And like I said, I think they come out swinging. They know they got to set the tone. No pun intended. Start off on the right foot, and I could see this getting real ugly. 8-9-0.
All right, let's see. So first half score, USA 2-0. I'm trying to find that bet. What did you say it was coming in at? What were you getting it at?
So I had the first half USA minus 2.5 goals.
All right.
And then full game, I have a -6.
Nice. So yeah, it's like I said, I saw the 6.5 out there for people looking for that. Here's the spread. Spread in total, I think.
Yeah, like I said, they're ranked first in the world. Vietnam's ranked 32nd. I mean, it's a real David versus Goliath matchup.
And this
For
is
V-
North Vietnam? Or
I'm not. I believe so. Yes.
man, that's crazy.
For them to even keep it close, something crazy would have to happen, in my opinion. I mean, it's like if the Chiefs played a high school team, really. Because I mean, a 6 goal spread in soccer is crazy.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
insane.
that would be like 30 to 40 point spread in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. You just don't see that in soccer if you're unfamiliar with it. Usually you see the 1.5, occasionally a 2.5, spread. It's just uncommon. Usually a game ends 1-0 pretty regularly.
Yeah, and another reason I like it a lot, in one of their tune-up games before the World Cup, Vietnam lost to Spain 9-0. Spain is a very good team, but USA is better. So I just think, they come out firing. They know they have to set the tone. They have a great group of veterans, and I think they get the job done. So I'm going with them first half and full game.
I think you talked me into it. I'm going to take that spread right there. I know I get a 50% boost on anything. Let's see here. So I'm going to do it. So why don't you all? I'm doing that. I'm placing a live bet. Hey, that's what this show's about. Joey and I didn't talk about this too much before the show began. He talks me into the bet. We're going to place a live bet, baby.
There you go. Let's make some money.
That's what it's about. So go ahead. Do you have? I know you said you had something on UFC tonight. I looked at boxing. I looked at some of the stuff. I didn't have a whole lot. So
my UFC play is for tomorrow. It's UFC's gonna be in London tomorrow, so that'll be pretty interesting. They have a great group of London up and comers. Paddy Pimblett, number 1. He's not fighting tomorrow, but the bet I'm betting is Molly McCann to win by KO. She is from England, so the home crowd is definitely going to be by her. She's a favorite among a lot of UFC fans. Everyone loves her. She's 13-5 as a pro, 6-4 in the UFC, and Cage Warriors. She is a former champion, so that'd be like the minor leagues of the UFC.
Okay.
And she's facing a lady who's only 10-7 and just 1-5 in the UFC, so not very good. She's kind of on her way out, and I think that knockout plus 140 plus the money is very good odds. Fighting at home with the crowd behind her, she's gonna be juiced up, and I think she gets it done. So that's my UFC play for tomorrow.
Do you have the odds on that by any chance, or?
Yeah, for her to win by KO is plus 140 is
Plus
what I got it at.
And what's her name again?
Molly McCann.
Okay, that's trying to find it. There's a lot of fights there. She is. Yeah, she's negative 205 on just the straight money line. But to win by KO, you said you get it bumped up to plus 140-ish, 130-ish.
Yeah, it's different for different sites, and in her 13 wins, she has 6 KOs. So 46% of the time, she's knocking the other lady out. And I think, being at home with that home crowd and she lost her last fight after a 3-fight win streak. So she's going to be very motivated, very hungry. She lost the last fight. I think she comes out swinging, gets the KO, and we cash those plus money tickets.
I love it. I love all the reasoning. You did hit on Holly Holmes last week.
Holly Holmes lost. I hit on Young Park by sub.
Okay.
Yeah, Holly Holmes. We went 1-1 in the UFC last week. Holly Holmes did get submitted in the second round, and it was very sad to see. She won the first round. She was scared of the other girl striking. I think it caught her off guard, and she tried a lot of grappling. And she is a very good grappler. She made a mistake. The girl got her neck, and unfortunately, she got submitted in the second round. So we did lose home, but we won Young Park by submission.
Okay, so there we go. Still 500 on the UFC, and I put it up there. The one I found is to win by KO, TKO, or disqualification. So you kind of get a little bit more of a grace right there. Plus 140 on those odds. You're going to like those every time that you're betting. Like I said, I'm kind of a negative 200 or better, unless it's like, I'm trying to build a bankroll bet or something I feel really good about.
Yeah, and I just like it a lot. She's a good fighter. She's coming off a loss. She had 3 wins in a row before that. And the home crowd. We all know what the home crowd does to teams. I mean, hearing her name chanted, hearing her country's anthem, that gets the juices flowing, the adrenaline flowing. She's going to be hunting the knockout. She wants to make a statement that loss last time, was not right, and that she's going to be back and trying to get in the rankings again.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you totally talked me into it, man. I liking what I'm seeing. I want to give a shout out to thanks to everybody on Twitter watching. We got a few people over there. Thank y'all for tuning in. We do appreciate you joining us. Looking ahead, like I said, I also wanted to look at the World Cup. They are heavy favorites in the futures department as well. With the women, and like you said, Spain's got a good shot. Of course, Australia's getting a little bit of a bump right now. You know what I'm saying, with them being the home countries.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, realistically, you got Spain at USA still at 250, Spain at 400, England 400, Germany 700, France 1,000, Australia 1,000. So I would say those are the main 6. Is there anybody you think that could take it away from the USA? Are you hedging this bet at all, or are you just gonna put some money?
I mean, I would say. What'd you say Spain's odds were? I like Spain a lot. They're a great soccer country.
400.
If anyone were to do it, I would say it'd be Spain, but I think it's gonna be the USA. I mean, they're just so talented all over the pitch. And I wish the men were as good as the women's were, and they're great advocates for the country, and they're great athletes. I'm taking the plus 250. I mean, I know it's a large field and those odds aren't very good, but in my opinion, it's like betting on Jordan with the Bulls. I mean, that's how good these ladies are. I mean, like I said, you don't see a spread of -6 very often, especially in the World Cup. That just shows their talent. And if I'm making a futures, I would bet USA plus 250. I mean, they're just that good.
You know what? There is a USA or Spain at plus 100. You could get the winner or the double chance as well. How do you feel?
I would take that as well. I mean, you could win both if USA wins. So,
yeah, USA and England a little higher. I don't know if that's just how the bracket fell. I don't know what's going on right there. Like I said, just keeping it transparent always with the betting. And I don't know much about women's soccer outside the USA, honestly. So. I do know an international competition in Canada had a pretty good team. They were playing pretty competitive. They played pretty competitive in the last World Cup, I believe, as well. So shout out to all the Canadians out there listening. And I think that could be a surprise team. It's at plus 5,000 though. I don't know who they've lost. I don't know what kind of talent they've had coming in. But I think you're right. Before we get out of this show, I'm going to place a bet on USA women, and then I'm going to place another one on USA or Spain. It's kind of like a double down, but I'm going to put a little bit of money on each.
Yeah, I
And then
really like that double down option. I think if anyone were to knock them off, it would be Spain. But I mean, plus 250, I'm taking the USA. I know it's a field of 32, and that's not very good odds. But it, like I said, I think it's like betting on Jordan with the Bulls. I mean, they're just that good, that talented. They're deep. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I love the double chance too.
Yeah, I went ahead and did it. I placed a blind unit. So we talk about units a lot. Units just what your standard bet should be. Okay, me like my parlay unit isn't the same as like when I'm betting with confidence on football on my favorite prop bets or my straight bets. Like that unit's something else for me. A baseball unit's something else, and my blind unit is something else. Okay, now it's up to you. Like you want to be like, dang it, a unit's a unit. If it's worth it, it's worth the unit. I know a lot of people that have that mindset. That is totally up for you to decide. I just feel like Joey and I need to educate you. You feel Joey talking about his process, giving you the numbers. Okay, like we said, make sure you're following some kind of statistic. This one was a little bit of blind bet, but we talked about it. We talked about USA being good, so I took away some of that fear factor on me. I still didn't place as big a unit as I did with my football bets or my basketball bets, okay? But now we got two in the running. We got USA 250. Let's go, baby. And then we got USA or Spain plus 100. And, it's just how it bets down. As long as that USA or Spain wins, I still get what I put back on the USA. So if Spain wins, I still draw even. If USA wins, hey, we're in the big money. And we're going to get that probably right about the second week of preseason. How long is the Women's World Cup? Still about a month, right?
Yeah, it's about a month. And to piggyback off the unit size and what you were talking about, especially with futures, you want your unit size for those to be smaller because you're tying up money for a month that's not in your bankroll, right? So,
exactly.
I mean, to each their own. But if you're betting futures, I mean, most likely you want that unit size to be smaller because you're not going to see it for a while, especially if you're betting like NFL futures. You're not going to see it for 5 months if you win. So
yeah, all season, man. They don't have those, especially like they don't have most of the official announcements until the week before the Super Bowl. So you're not going to see that money till February. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
something in August. So yeah, keep that in mind. And Joey, do you have any more bets for the weekend or no?
That's I'm gonna have some more baseball tomorrow, but I wish they came out with the line sooner. And I usually don't make my baseball bets until a couple hours before.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the Open Championship. I'm not a very big golf guy. I like watching majors. If I were to bet on anything, it would probably be a semi-decent long shot to win the British Open. What about you? You got anything more for the weekend?
No, not directly tied to the weekend. Like I said, I looked at some boxing. I've been following boxing a little bit more lately, but I'm going to hold off on betting on it this weekend. But even with that, we counting the no-run first inning. Then we're talking about Pittsburgh at the Angels. Pittsburgh at the Angels. We talked about the Cruz Azul. You laid down the UFC bet. You talked me into the spread bet on the on the USA Women's tonight. So that's 5. And then we went ahead and got one more with the futures bet on USA. Go ahead and count that one live as well. So that's still 6-pack on your Friday night of free bets.
Yeah, we got the Rangers too. Rangers.
Oh, the Rangers. So 7. Baker's half dozen, I guess there.
Yeah, but, exactly.
I do want people to know football's a little different. All right. Now the lines will move. We might talk about something on Friday, and if you just, I bet on Sunday morning. I need all the information. I'm listening to Joey and Iggy. 8:00 in the morning. We'll be placing those bets. The line might move, but really the information still is just as valid. We could get a bruise on a hand or a blister on a finger, or it could be raining and baseball, and we're effed. That changes the whole dynamic of it. So that's why they don't put the lines out, because Vegas doesn't want to be the one that's screwed either. Those bookies are smart and money-making industries for a reason. So tend to follow their advice. We're going to get into a lot of tease betting for me whenever the football season rolls around, because I just trust the bookies. They know their football. really, really well. But guess what? We know it better. So we're
You're
gonna take
right, we
advantage
do.
of
And I
that.
like how you said that. I like betting NFL lines early. So, like you said, completely different from MLB because once those lines get out, the sharps get on a number. That number gets hammered. And I mean,
Yeah.
you'll see -3.5, sometimes ballooned up to 6.5 and 7 by the time Sunday kickoff starts. So, if you like a line early in the NFL, you see what you like. I recommend to place the bets early in the NFL because I mean they get it. NFL's king. It has the most bets, the most viewers, and when the sharps get on a spread, the lines typically get hammered. So that's what my advice for NFL betting would be.
Oh yeah, and my plan is like once we get here on Fridays, we'll have to watch ourselves not going over an hour. I mean, there's just so much stuff going on, so many good angles. You got the Thursday night game coming off of that. You're going into, if you bet on college football, you got Saturday. But I'll be focusing on the NFL as we get closer to preseason games as well. You don't really know what to expect, but I had some success with preseason games last year, so we'll take a look at that as well. But I did want to, before we'll wrap up the show about 30 minutes today. I want to say thanks again for everybody spending time with us, coming out and hanging out with us on your Friday night. Once we get this down pre-gaming, be a little bit better for you, everybody. Getting your Friday kicking off well, getting those bets placed and getting you some money after your Friday night party. Get it back on Sunday. Have some money for the week.
Yeah, man,
going.
I'm ready for the NFL. It's that means fall's coming, the fall weather. It's hotter than you know what here.
Oh yeah.
And when the fall comes, that's Pat Mahomes number 15 and the Chiefs are coming. I can't wait, man.
Absolutely. And we'll wrap it up with this question. It's just some things to think about, going out the show. Dude, I bet on TJ Watt big 3 years ago to be the defensive player of the year. Now, I'm a part of the IDP community, going to be on the IDP panel if you're going to the Fantasy Football Expo. I love defense. I follow it. I've been playing fantasy football with defensive players for 13 years. There was an overwhelming consensus from defensive people and NFL people and as a whole, really, that TJ Watt was going to win it. He had led the team, led the league in sacks, played well, was a vital part of that Pittsburgh defense. I think that was Pittsburgh's, that was Ben's, last year to go to the playoffs, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And even his brother, he had the front row seat, JJ Watt afterwards, like, man, we got hosed, because they gave it to Aaron Donald. So I'm presenting it to you like this. How do you feel about betting on futures where it comes down to an opinion as opposed to the play? Like I heard somebody say, Jeff Mans, I'll just throw him out there. He was like, that would be like people watching the Kansas City-Philadelphia game and being like, you know what? Yeah, you won Kansas City, but, Philadelphia, it's a bigger market out here on the East Coast. They got better offensive weapons at the moment. Let's just give them the Super Bowl because that's what we think. So what are your
I see.
like
I'm glad you brought that up, and I don't like betting on opinion bets like that because just like you said, I mean, one voter could be swayed by one thing, not the actual statistics. And you see that a lot with MVP. It's always going to be a quarterback, and it's always going to be, a good team that's probably in the playoffs and the playoff hunt are going to make a run. I mean, you're not going to see the MVP on a 1-15 team, even if he had the best stats out of everybody. No one's going to vote for him. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you brought that up. For those bets, I typically stay away on opinion betting because you never know people's incentives or, if they're really voting for the statistics or, the team's statistics rather than the individual player.
Yeah, like I said, it just I got burned like I could, because here's the thing about futures. I mean, that plus 250 on the women's USA team to win it all, like that's a super low future plus 250. And Joey kind of mentioned to it. I always go back to the philosophy: we want to win. At the end of the day, we want to win. We're not as worried about the odds as if are we going to win? Because if you don't win, you might as well have been wiping your booty with it after the restroom. That's how much good it did for you.
Exactly.
But saying that most futures have good odds, and I was like, all right, I placed pretty heavy on this TJ Watt thing. I snuck in a second bet right before, so we're about to gain about 40 units right here before the Super Bowl, and just hammer them again. No, that didn't happen. It went to Aaron Donald. You think it's just a one sport thing? I don't think so. You could argue also like Derrick Henry could have been the MVP one of Aaron Rodgers' last 2 years. He ran over 2,000 or got 2,000 yards. Rare feat. Could have been it. Nope, didn't happen. You think it happens just in football? Look at baseball. Who was the MVP last year? Aaron Judge, right? Who probably deserved the MVP? Ohante, or the angel pitcher / hitter.
That's yeah, exactly. Ohtani. No, you're absolutely right. That's why for those bets I typically stay away because their opinion, they're not fact, they're not based. I mean, they should be based on the individual player's stats. If you're betting MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, but too many of those awards, they don't really look at the bad teams. They go to good players on good teams, which, I mean, really, it should come down to statistics only at the end of the day for those awards, and that's why I stay away. Like you said, it's too much opinion.
I mean, same thing with Jokic. I mean, Jokic literally didn't win the regular season MVP this year because they didn't want to give it to him. Like, that was the validating reason. We can't give it to him 3 times in a row. He becomes one of the greatest players of all time if we do that. It wasn't that he didn't deserve it. It was simply that they didn't want to give it to him, and that has a lot to do with politics and race and everything. I'm not really going to get into it on the show, but I'm telling you, if you put your money in the hands of other people's opinion, you might end up like me on TJ Watt. I mean, it wasn't just me. Like, the outrage was pretty bad, in the community.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And speaking on that, I know we kind of spoke about people's opinion last week and how it was so bad. UFC and boxing scorecards.
Oh, yeah. Scorecards.
It just shows you some scorecards. I was watching UFC the other week. One judge had a girl winning all 3 rounds, and the other judge had the other female winning 2 rounds. So it's just completely different. Just way off. That's what boxing and UFC is down in the dumps. UFC is not as bad as boxing, but it just goes to show how people's opinion and what actually happened could be very far off. So that's why I stay away from those.
Solid advice right there from Joey. Like I said, we're going to keep the show about an hour, wrapping it up. I do want to show everybody. It's actually open right now because I just had to make a pick right before the show. The draft kit, I use it right here. It's not, not the most, sophisticated or fancy looking thing, but you can print it off. Coaches, offensive coordinators, how long they've been there, strengths at every offensive and defensive position, statistics, including kicker statistics, tackles, interceptions, passes defended, a breakdown top 55 of almost every position except for like defense, kickers. I didn't go to 55 kickers. I'm sorry. I did go to 40 though. So, you still get some good kickers up in there to take a look at as well, because it's the details. Details are what win you championships in fantasy football, and paying attention to the stats and the details of your betting teams. That's what's going to win you championships as well. Joey, anything you'd like to say? We'll close out of this one a little early today, but we will be back next week, of course.
I just have one question for you that I've been pondering. You got the number 1 pick in your fantasy draft. Who are you going with?
Depending on the rules, always, but I actually do have the number 1 in the Fantasy Football Charity Cares UK program put on by Murph and the guys over there. I got the number 1 pick, and I've been thinking about it. In a Superflex league, I'm probably going, I went Josh Allen with number 2 in the Scott Fish Bowl. Somebody went Patrick Mahomes before me. So I do like Josh Allen, but I think in a standard league, 1 quarterback league, I'm starting to tilt a little bit more to Jamar Chase, man. I just think that the Bengals, you know about the OBJ effect, but what I mean by that is Orlando Brown Jr. Look what he did for the Chiefs, man, and protecting Patrick Mahomes and keeping him up. He's about to go do that for Joe Burrow, help that offensive line a lot. And I think Jamar Chase is worth the first overall pick. What about you?
I've been debating it as well. I like Jamar at 1. I was thinking maybe Justin Jefferson at 1 as well. I love Jay Jetta. I'm not a big Kirk Cousins fan. I think if he had someone like Joey B, he would just be unstoppable. But I like your thinking. if I do get the number one pick in a standard league, I don't think I'm going running back. I think it's probably going to be wide receiver. So I completely agree with you there. But I mean, if it's a super flex, then obviously Pat Mahomes. I mean, if you got two quarterbacks.
Yeah, you're not going to go wrong there. And I'm interested to see how the defense does to the Chiefs. I don't know if it takes a step forward, stays the same. I mean, they don't have Dunlap. They don't have Clark. I mean, it all starts with that defensive line, in my opinion. So we'll see. And if that defense can't pick, they do get Drew Tranquil, though. You guys did pick up Tranquil over there.
Yeah.
That should help. But if there's a drop in the defensive play, the offense is going to have to pick it up more. And I could just tell they're motivated. They're like motivated to be these back-to-back Super Bowl champions. It would complete the dynasty. Coach Eric B's gone. So now it's a chance to say, it was me and Andy the whole time. Eric B didn't have anything to do with that. I'm not saying he didn't. I think he did. But I think they're like.
He definitely did, yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's a great coach. And, yeah, I'm just excited for the year to start, man. And I know you're a big Packers fan. I like Jordan Love a lot. I'm excited to see him play. I think he's going to be a stud. I mean, every time we've seen him on the field, he's looked good. So,
yeah, he hasn't given me a reason to think he's not going to be good. I'll tell you that. First round pick, he's got to live up to it now. That's just part of it. So.
Oh, before we go, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about the Jets on Hard Knocks? They forced them to do that. You think it's going to be good?
They did force them to do that or no?
Yeah. No one wanted to do it, so the NFL picked the Jets because the NFL can force a team to do it if no one volunteers.
And nobody volunteered this year, huh? Well, that's interesting. I was looking at the clip when Cromartie was talking about all his children, and he lists off like 5 or 6 that just turned 3 or about to turn 3. Do you remember that one on the old Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
That was a piece of gold right there. The last time they did it, that was a real interesting team. I think there's personalities over there. There's probably going to be some competition battles at the wide receiver position, maybe in that secondary position. So it'll be good. I mean, I would watch Hard Knocks no matter who they covered, honestly. So,
I watch it. I watch it every year. I just think it's kind of crazy that the NFL can force a team to do that. I mean, it's obviously in the contract somewhere, but that's just kind of wild to me.
That is kind of wild, but the NFL, man, it's the shield. And, it's going to do – that's what – let's just talk about this. We're kind of wrapping up the show. That's cool. We're kind of having conversations that will influence betting at the end of the day. You can check out a lot more of our stuff at Sports Affiliation. I love the running back position. I got, you can't see it because of the microphone, but I got Emmitt Smith right there, and I can't stand the Cowboys. But I loved Emmitt Smith. I thought he was just fun to watch. I've always respected running backs as somebody that played tight end and inside linebacker most of my life. I'm either helping them or tackling them. And a lot of those dudes were studs, and I should say girl. My first running back ever, dude, was a girl. And she steamrolled people. I grew up in such a small town. Her brother was an all-state football player. Her cousin was like national steer wrestling champion.
Wow.
So she comes from the Haas family, and she ended up being a starting point guard at SMU. But our first year, dude, she would just truck people, and maybe that's part of the reason I loved it too. I got to watch my, a girl I went to school with, kindergarten through 12th grade, just absolutely smoke people.
That's pretty cool, man. There's a lot of girls playing high school football, and more power to them if they can play and, compete. Why not? Did you play in an eight man or?
No, there's 6 man. No, we were just 2A small school. I graduated with about 60-something people. So
Nice.
Nothing real big. But love football memories. But my whole point with it is like the NFL, fantasy football has influenced the NFL. It's all just part of the culture, right? We like more flash and dazzle, and we like high scoring points. But to make a stand on the running back, who I think deserves to get paid more. Like they just deserve to get paid more. They need to have something in all their contracts that allows that, every hit you get $1,000. Every time you get hit. Something, to take care of this position we love. What's up, Jimmo, the icon? Thank you for hopping in, man. They need to do something for the position because it's not right. But the truth is, the NFL could just be like, we're going to get rid of the running back position for safety protocol. I think there could be a point when I'm old, hopefully that the NFL moves everybody within the first 5 lines of the yard, first 5 or 4 yards of the line of scrimmage, so nobody's more than like 8, 9, 10 yards apart. And then you get rid of the running back, and it becomes a lot more like 7-on-7, which is what fantasy football 7 my charity league is simply kind of based on. But the running back position is so cool, but I don't think they really have the leg to stand on because they've devalued the position. They've made the quarterback so valuable. They've made the pass rushers so valuable. They've made pass catchers so valuable that tight ends are making almost double what running backs are. And to have worth as a running back in fantasy football, you have to be a pretty good pass catching running back. Okay, so I just think that that's what the NFL is going towards that. And I think I'm on that. I'm on the running back team. I'm on the team that thinks running backs deserve to get paid more, are the heart of a team. They really are. Even go look at the Super Bowl. I don't have it with me, but go look at Pacheco's rushing yards in the playoffs. If you don't think running back's important, they got some good rushes out of him in that late run.
Oh yeah, and Damian Williams against San Francisco in their first Super Bowl.
Yeah, he put in the MVP of that game. I thought, he was the consistent guy. That should let you know how important running backs are.
I completely agree with you, but I also agree they don't have a leg to stand on, and nothing's going to change because it's such a passing league. I just don't see anything they could do unless they try to work it in the next contract or whatever. I just don't see how they're going to change it. I mean, I want to say I think the Giants, what they're doing with Saquon is just completely stupid. He was 40% of their offense last year. You take him away. You trust Danny Dimes with those receivers with no Saquon? I mean, I agree with you. They deserve to be paid, but like you said, with it becoming such a passing league, most likely nothing's going to change. So,
yeah, I was just backing up your point about the Jets being forced to do hard knocks. Like, it's the shield. And it's like, as much as I love the running backs, and it's one of my favorite positions of all time, and JC says, Damian Williams definitely should have been MVP. Running back, they didn't want to give it to him. Unfortunately, that's where it's at, and I just don't know how we combat it. As a lover of the running back, as somebody that's on team running back, as somebody that's on team Barkley, as somebody that had Josh Jacobs carrying them to multiple playoff leagues last year and win the league that JC ran with some of the best in the industry. I won because of Josh Jacobs, and as much as we want to make our fantasy football about other things, come Thanksgiving on, it's usually about running and controlling the clock. And, because you can't, you are who you are by Thanksgiving. You're not going to be adding too many wrinkles to your game. So I think it all goes back to the running backs that they should get paid more, but I don't know how they're going to do it against the Shield. The Shield could just be like, we're getting running backs all together, and there'd be really nothing we could do about it, as fans of running backs and as running backs themselves. Like I said, that was just some food for thought to wrap it up. Any final thoughts again, Joey?
No, that's it. Great show. Appreciate doing it every week. Looking forward to doing. Let's win some money. Let's win some bets, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Yeah, we'll bring up the trackers next week. I had some issues, but we'll track the bets. We do have them tracked. We got the 7 bets today. I think we ended up having we were 2-4 coming into today. So 7 bets. Let's see if we can get that above 500. We've already won 1 of them, so we're at 3-4 right now, on the right track. Joey D, appreciate you being here. Deuces, as always. Take care of yourself this weekend, everybody. Remember to bet smart, be lucky. Go follow the Sports Affiliation. Go follow my man Joey on Twitter, and then you can see mine right there as well, IDP_Iggy. If you're on the YouTube, go give me a follow over there, as that's where most of our content will be. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. Here's the outro. Peace.